Today, we're gonna compare Tales of Arise with Star Ocean: The Divine Force. I'm gonna make the poll right now, and you guys are gonna answer, you're gonna vote, and you're gonna make your argument, and I'm gonna read that argument like I said, and that's gonna make it to the video. And then near the end, before ending the poll or after ending the poll, I'll make my own argument. I'll pick my winner, and I'll explain why. So Jordan says, I think Tales of Arise is the stronger game, but Divine Force may have been more important. Arise was riding a high off the back of Berseria, whereas Divine Force had to follow integrity and fatalessness. That's a good argument. So Skycatcher says, Arise removed a lot of the cool stuff from the previous series, like cooperative mode, and after battle sayings, like the victory quotes, right? Oh, okay. Shin's RPG says, Tales of Arise for me, because of faster and fluid gameplay, and don't forget those combination attacks, it looks so cool. Character designs are awesome too. Okay. Sense says, Star Ocean is better because it actually had characters that people can identify with. So you don't think that Tales of Arise cast is identifiable, like people can't relate to them? Or people relate more to the Star Ocean 6 cast? Okay, Julie says, if I have to say, Arise's soundtrack was less memorable for a whole than from other games. Mainly being ambientic long songs. Not a bad thing, but Arise's soundtrack was kinda unmemorable for me. Okay, so the Star Ocean music was better. Okay, a solid argument about the music. Okay. Tales of Arise has better graphics, a better combat system, and a much more beautiful world, says Ilias. Okay. Phantonium says, I'd go with Star Ocean: The Divine Force, as its combat system wasn't entirely streamlined like Tales of Arise's. And Jordan keeps saying something else. So Jordan says, mechanically, Arise brings more to the table as all 6 playable characters work together seamlessly, and being able to use characters on the sidelines as a clutch was sick. Star Ocean 6 was just, well, more Star Ocean. Okay, I respect that. So, Hooflong said that the battle system in Star Ocean is more complicated. He says you can breeze through Tales of Arise, which is more accessible, but Star Ocean caters to its fans. I still think there's a lot of arguments to be done in favor of both Tales of Arise and Star Ocean. And even though I'm pretty sure Tales of Arise is gonna win, I think there's a lot of good things to say about Star Ocean. And I want to give the people like you guys the opportunity to defend Star Ocean. Okay, but honestly, I think it's a good competition. It's a good match. Well, NMO95 says, Arise was a huge step forward in terms of cutscenes. The art style was superior, and the game can set up a new era of awesome Tales games like Symphonia did. The formula is now established. Okay. Nice argument. I see what you're trying to say. I see why you give preference to Arise over Star Ocean. Star Ocean: The Divine Force might be overlooked, but it's clearly more geared towards hardcore JRPG fans. So is that a good or a bad thing? Zent says, Star Ocean is better because it's mechanically easier to play. That's subjective. Okay, gamers can play anything, but Star Ocean is easy for anybody to play. I guess I don't disagree with that, because Tales of Arise is just harder to play. It's a little bit more technical, right? I agree with that. But Star Ocean can be kind of messy and chaotic, and it's not gonna be everyone's cup of tea, I guess. But yeah, I see what you're saying. I remember, if we compare Tales of Arise with previous Tales games, you can definitely see that it's harder than the other. It's one of the hardest Tales games, Tales of Arise, in my opinion. So Patrick O says, Divine Force is better than Arise, but I think it just comes down to which you prefer, Star Ocean or Tales. As in the overall series, okay. In all the Star Oceans, there is so much going on, and Tales games are usually more point A to point B. Okay, but so you prefer Divine Force because there's just so much to do, right? So much going on, and it's more difficult. Okay, I get it. Nice argument. So let's wrap things up. Tales of Arise, 69%. Star Ocean: The Divine Force, 31%. Okay. I kinda knew Tales of Arise will win simply because it's the most popular game. I'm surprised that Star Ocean didn't get that many votes, but at the same time, it's a game that influencers and reviewers and journalists destroyed for no other reason than the graphics, maybe, or for no other reason than being a bit unbalanced. Even though Tales of Arise is difficult as hell, But yeah, the outcome was predictable. Tales of Arise is the winner according to the consensus and according to 81 people in my chat. Okay, now I'll tell you my argument. Okay, so it will surprise you to know that I think Star Ocean: The Divine Force is the better game. Why? Because I saw some arguments saying that Tales of Arise was pretty linear and there was a lot of confusion near the end, like the ending didn't make any sense, and then it went on Star Ocean. Tales of Arise became Star Ocean Arise. You know, halfway through the game, you go into space and it becomes this science fiction madness that, yes, I liked it, you know, but in terms of narrative and storytelling, I think Tales of Arise should have kept its science fiction setting to a minimum, like in any other Tales game, but instead it went full-blown Star Ocean, man. So my opinion, from my perspective, it kind of tried to be Star Ocean, and Star Ocean wins because, you know, it's just Star Ocean, it's just another Star Ocean game. I'm also giving it preference because it saved the franchise. Everybody thought the series was dead, and all of a sudden Tri-Ace and Square Enix made up, and they decided to be friends once again and collaborate, and the result was this amazing game. Sure, I can give you this. Tales of Arise has better graphics. It certainly does. Star Ocean 6 suffered from the resolution frame rate issues, like the, prioritize one or the other. And I was always saying, I said this during my review, like, why couldn't we have gotten both? You know, why couldn't we give priority to both? You know, and instead the graphics looked kind of blurry. They weren't AAA level of looking graphics, you know, while Tales of Arise looks more refined. And the combat in Tales of Arise is great, but I think Star Ocean experimented a bit more and introduced this level of this thing, the drone thing, you know, that wasn't there before. It made battles more engaging, but at the same time more chaotic. I'm saying that Tales of Arise is a more technical combat, and I see why a lot of people prefer that. But when it comes to action RPGs, I like my chaos. Okay, I'm a Nier fanboy, and they're more chaotic battle mechanics. So of course I'm gonna give preference to Star Ocean. I'll be honest with you, when it comes to comparing both series, the Tales series with the Star Ocean series, I'm a bigger Tales fan. I can see why a lot of you thought I would choose Tales of Arise, but no. And it's not because I'm choosing the underdog here. No, it's because I really legitimately think Star Ocean had more to offer. And in terms of story, I think the story in Star Ocean makes more sense, and it's more adult-oriented. Arise had this darkness to it at the beginning, but then it went off the rails to something cliché and tropey, and the romance between Alphen and Shion, and that was fine, I liked that, but that was cliché. Whereas the Divine Force stays on point, and a lot of things happen at once that connect with each other easily and perfectly. You know, I think that Star Ocean has this level of storytelling that makes sense between medieval and science fiction, and the series is known for that. And Star Ocean 6, it didn't disappoint when it comes to storytelling. I also believe that the character development in Star Ocean 6 is simply better, especially for some characters. I know some of them also didn't get the best development, but the main characters, you know, kind of changed their perspectives near the end, and I found the cast in Star Ocean 6 a little bit more likable. And the icing on the cake, the music is just better. Tales of Arise, the soundtrack was kind of forgettable. Someone was saying earlier that the soundtrack was kind of forgettable, unmemorable. Like, I can only remember a couple of themes, to be honest, whereas in Star Ocean 6, the music is fantastic. I think Motoi Sakuraba puts more attention to the Valkyrie and the Star Ocean series when it comes to music than the Tales series. But that's nothing objective, that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm trying to say that I like Star Ocean music a little bit more, because it sounds more science fiction-ish and rockish and metal-ish than what the Tales series have to offer. And that's pretty much my argument. The drone thing in Star Ocean made the combat much better for me. The storytelling was more mature and darker, so I give preference to that. The characters were more likable for me. I love Leticia, and I love the... Raymond was a more interesting character, you know. He wasn't your average protagonist, you know. He's kind of like an adult trying to give preference. He's a merchant, and we've never seen a merchant before like Raymond, you know. That was pretty interesting. That made things more interesting. And Elena became one of my favorite characters. She's such a multi-dimensional android. and I just couldn't understand why an android will get that kind of development that she gets. So she won me over. And when it comes to fan service, well, you can't go wrong with Elena. She's so easy on the eye, man. She's just so easy on the eye. I'm not saying Shion or Kisara aren't. That's great fan service right there. But I don't know, Elena, man, and the other girl, the from the alien race, you know, she's great to look at. Anyway, you guys, so yeah, Tales of Arise wins for you. Star Ocean wins for me. What do you think about this? Do you think which game do you think is better? You can say that on the chat right now, or you can leave a comment when this video is up.